Hello everyone, welcome back to Tony Sports Games for a Christmas Eve episode of our Dynasty Playthrough series here on Draft Day Sports College Football 2026. As always, we are with the Louisiana Ragin Cajuns on the road to glory. This episode is coming out on Christmas Eve, so Merry Christmas to you all and Happy Holidays. What a wonderful time of year. As always, I hope you are enjoying the week, maybe have a couple days off work, huh? In our last episode, we talked a lot about our kind of strategy overview for the season. We did some roster evaluation. If you guys haven't seen that video yet, go check it out. It's the last one in this series, episode 8. This is episode 9 already, so very exciting there. We're making some good progress. In this episode, we're going to review our depth charts and playbooks and kind of game plan and strategy that I've gone ahead and set up based on our discussion from last episode. And then, of course, we need to finish up getting ready for week 1, our matchup at Baton Rouge, Louisiana against the number 2 ranked LSU Tigers. What a way to kick off the official season 1. We got a lot of freshmen that are going to be on the field, and oh boy, welcome to big time college football, boys. So we'll see how they can do. Obviously, after we review our depth charts and things, we also need to build our recruiting board, and depending on how long that takes, we will need to advance through week 1 and get this season moving along. So welcome in, everybody. Let's talk depth charts, let's talk recruiting, let's build our recruiting board, and let's get the season moving along. And we start right now. All right, welcome back, everybody. As you can see, we are in our strategy tab. I wanted to take a look at our playbook first that I've built, several playbooks, and then we'll breeze through the depth charts and our game plan and all the rest there, and then start to talk some recruiting. So I made a few playbooks. I made for offense, which we'll review first here, I made a base offense playbook. I made a goal line offense playbook, and I made a long to go, so like 3rd and long, 4th and long, won't be used very much, but long passing situations playbook as well. So I based a lot of this on our discussion, of course, from last episode where we talked about our offense and some of the things we think they can do. So you'll see here we have included, we have 68 plays total. It's not a ridiculous number, but it's a fairly large number. We'll definitely trim some plays out as we go along. We'll probably add some different plays back in as we go along, but we have 34 passes and 34 runs, 0 RPOs. So as I said last episode, I don't think we have the team for that, but we start out, we're going to go through all the passes first. We start out with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 passes in empty backfield, 5 wide receiver set. Now this formation, you'll notice if you're in your depth chart screen, you can always preview a formation. There's a button to do that. This is not actually 5 wide receivers. It's 3 wide receivers, a tight end, and a running back. Your running back is one of these 2 guys here, and the other one's your slot receiver. Then you got your tight end and your 2 outside receivers. So it's not really five wide receivers, but you're 5 wide. So we've got some passes here. Most passes in this formation, I think almost all of them are like short to balanced depth of target, which I think is kind of probably going to be our bread and butter. The biggest reason I included all these passes here is just I'm on 4 or 5 different seasons now in this game, whether it's an offline playthrough or my online league or the Admiral Adventure series. It just consistently performs near the top of all the formations with multiple different teams, different offenses, my 5 wide plays have done pretty well as far as like average yard per play. So we're going to include them here. I have several 2 tight end passes. I think, and they're ones that a lot of them will target the tight ends. I really want to test out these 2 tight ends that we've converted over from wide receiver. I think they have a lot of potential to be pretty good for us. And because they don't have great speed, I think they need to be, I don't think they're going to be great like deep seam, way downfield type of tight ends. There's not a lot of passes like that in this game anyway, but more short, medium targets. I also think we can maybe I included a couple pass plays in Wishbone. Because we have multiple receivers that have pretty good hands, both Levy and Elliott. I think they can be pretty decent receiving options. This formation obviously would have 2 backs, and I think in all these plays I selected, both the backs, I guess this one's short out, 1 back is blocking, but the backs are going out for passes. We have 1 tight end and our number 1 receiver, which will probably be Deloach to start the year. But I think personnel-wise, I kind of like it. We have a pretty decent pass blocking fullback. Not great, but okay. So I included a couple of those. I included a couple, several shotgun passes. It's a good formation to pass out of. I included a few where the running backs go out for a pass because Levy really should be a really nice receiving back. I want to try to get him some targets early in the year and see if he's as good as I think he could be receiving. And then we've got a couple short passes, a couple medium passes here. Just some plays that I like: skinny post, slot corner. Justice will be starting out the year in the slot, so I think he's a pretty good receiver, or will be for us. Couple plays with the tight end in here. What we're going to do as we test these plays, they get run 4 or 5 times, and we have some data on like the average gain and things like that. As we trim out some of the bad plays that we run a few times and they just don't work, there's a lot of similar concepts in different formations throughout a lot of these formations. So like wide receiver out, if that's a play that's performing well in shotgun, then when we trash a couple plays that don't work for us, pass plays, we could go into some other formations and add more wide receiver outs. I have a couple in here already, but I formation, couple passes in here, more for the opposite reason. I think our backs, let's see, in one of these, catching, blocking, catching. So one of them the running back blocks, 2 of them the running back will be going out for a pass. A couple pro set passes as well here. This one crosses. We've got our running back going out to the flat, and then our fullback stays in and blocks. We're going to give a few of those a shot as well. So total for passing, we have empty 5 wide, 2 tight end, wishbone, shotgun, and I formation that we're passing out of. Don't have anything in the spread right now, not for any particular reason. Open to adding some down the road, but I'm just going to start out with those here. Then when we get into the runs, remember when we did our roster overview last episode, I mentioned I thought our inside running, especially like power running out of formations with a fullback, we probably have the best personnel to do that. So I have included quite a few, I formation, whether it's counters, off tackles, and then I haven't tested this duo right and left play out a lot. I have to really see what it looks like in the game. So I threw it in here. It looks like the fullback more blocks kind of to the outside, and the running back is running behind the guard. So if there's, I guess, an end or a linebacker near the line of scrimmage, I'm guessing that's who the fullback should be responsible for, but we'll see if we're getting a hand on somebody or if it just doesn't work. Pro set, this pro set off tackle right is one of my favorite running plays in the game because you have a tight end on this side, you have a fullback on this side, so you're really creating a numbers advantage on this side of the ball. If you have a fast center, pro set sweep right is a great play because then you also add the center pulling out here. But our run blocking centers are pretty slow, so I'm avoiding sweeps for now. You start to see some quarterback runs pop up here. We've got a couple in the pro set formation. I've got a couple quarterback runs out of empty 5 wide. So we'll see how those can do. I'm not really sure about this sprint left one because it looks like it's taking the tight end all the way across the formation, and I don't know if that's motion or post snap. If that's post snap, I can't imagine he's going to be involved in the play, but we'll see. And then we've got some. I've got a couple read options in here. These are the only 2 read options I could find, but I think we have Levy, we have Edwards, our running quarterback. They should be our 2 best runners. So I want to see how that goes. We've got kind of on the other side a similar play, but the read option is the quarterback between the center and the guard. Feel okay about our run blocking options at guard. We've got a couple maulers inside, so we'll see how that goes. Couple runs in shotgun. We're going to be using the outside running depth chart for this, although I think early in the year we may just start Levy both inside and outside runs. Elliott is probably going to end up working into the field more, but so we have some shotgun runs, some pitches, off tackle. Off tackle is just a good balanced run. Whether you run inside or outside more, it's just a good play. A couple fullback runs in here because I think our fullback could run a bit. He has decent strength and speed, so we're going to give him a few opportunities. And then a couple option plays in here, a couple runs out of the wishbone. I could have included a lot more, but I wanted to keep the number down. So there's other runs that we could bring in as we go along. But our other playbooks on offense, longer passing situations. We have some posts, some streaks, some skinny posts. Wide receiver out is more a balanced play, but hopefully our quarterback has the intelligence to target one of these downfield receivers. We'll see. Posts, a good long pass concept. Streak, and then we have to have a couple runs, so I just included a couple pitches here. Here's the spread, yeah. Spread, pitch right, pitch left, I formation, pitch right, pitch left. So we have that for just like 3rd and long, 4th and long. And then our goal line offense, I have some passes. Let's see, we have 13 passes and 10 runs. Have some passes out of 2 tight end jumbo, which I think could be all right. We have some passes in 2 tight end, a lot that target the tight end. I think this could be good. We may even extend some of this into the red zone as we go along, but targeting the tight ends, and then some run plays. I don't know, some option, quarterback runs, power runs as well. So we'll see what tweaks we need as we go along. On defense, again, we're going to be playing mostly, I don't have these updated yet, but on defense, we will be playing mostly 3-3-5. And so for our base defense, which will definitely be used on early downs, I have all plays that are either run focused or balanced, and the main coverage is either zone or mixed. So just a handful of plays here, a couple slightly different formations. We have a couple in 3-3-5 base, 3-3-5 soft, and 3-3-5 wide. So we'll see how our base defense is doing early in the year as we go along here. And then for passing downs, when I want our pass rush personnel package in, I just have nickel. And it's the same. It's either mixed or zone for the coverage. So, and the focus is either balanced or pass. So enough to get us started. Goal line defense, I just put all the 5-2 plays that are either zone or mixed for coverage, and we'll see how that does. I have definitely found in the past that I quite like dime press in some situations, even dime and 5-2 for like third and fourth and short. Not starting out with that since we are going to try to play mostly zone, but then again, our personnel this year isn't the best for zone, so open to adjustments as we go along. But those are our playbooks that we have set up to start the year here. In terms of play calling, we're going to try to be fairly balanced. I wouldn't be surprised if we lean more towards the run as the year goes on. I hope we can pass protect a bit better than last year, but it's definitely a concern, especially the first few weeks when we're going to be going up against some very talented defensive lines compared to what we have. But basically running the base offense on early downs, third and long, fourth and medium, fourth and long, going to the long passing playbook, fourth and short, goal line, the goal line playbook. Red zone for now, we'll run the base offense playbook and just see how we go. And we'll see how we're doing like on third and short with the base offense. If the goal line situations are very successful, then we could extend that playbook to third and short, but that's what we're going to do for now. On defense, of course, basically playing the base defense on the early downs, 3-3-5. Passing down package, that's nickel on second and long, third and medium, third and long, fourth and medium. Yep, there we go, and fourth and long. And then we bring the goal line defense in here in a couple situations as well. Some of this will change matchup-wise, but for week one, of course, I don't know for sure what LSU is going to do, so we're going to kind of let that ride. I may make a couple adjustments when I look a little closer at LSU's coaching staff and what they like to run, but for now, that's what we have. So our personnel packages on offense, we have 2 running packages, inside and outside runs. The only difference on here really, an outside run, that's all 3 wide receiver sets. So I'd rather have Cook in the slot run blocking closest to the ball, as he's probably the best blocking wide receiver. And then I may live to regret this, but I was looking at the offensive line and I thought, can I try Mathis? I don't know. He's so weak. I've talked about this guy at length, and obviously I may live to regret this, but he only has 58 strength. So if he may not be there long, is what I'm saying, I guess. But for some reason, in my heart of hearts, I took pity on him as I made the running depth charts. Quarterback, we have Edwards and Fultz. Fultz is pretty athletic, so if Edwards goes down, Fultz can still run some quarterback runs okay, I think. He's got 83 speed, so we're okay there. Starting with Levy, just first in both inside and outside runs. Elliott may move up. We'll see how Levy does. If he hits it out the park, then maybe we just want to ride Levy this year. But that's the offensive line for run plays. Harris, Brandt or Mathis, Ramirez, Jeffrey Guess, and Phil Cervantes. I think the right side's going to be a little bit stronger for run plays, so we may adjust our play frequency for runs to run to that side slightly more, but you got to run to the left some too, just to keep balanced. 1 and 2 wide receiver passing sets. We have, of course, all our passing. Enriquez is going to be our starting quarterback. Levy, Elliott, and Sturgis for running back. David, and then Clinton for fullback. 2 wide receiver sets. We're going to have Deloach and Kimbrell starting out. We're going to keep an eye on Kimbrell because either Justice or McLean could be pretty good wide receiver, outside wide receiver options also. I got to find some ways to get McLean some snaps as we go along through the season, because the very limited amount of info I have on him is that he performs pretty well when the lights are on. So we'll see. Going to start with Norman first. Felder second, just because Norman has a little more positional skill. And there may have been a couple other guys that had a cohesion with Norman, but not Felder. I can't remember. It wasn't a lot. I looked through a couple close calls for some cohesion sightings. I don't know if I made any drastically different starting decisions based on that. This year we have a quarter to a third of the roster turned over, but we don't have much depth. So one or two more years down the road, when we have closer to a full roster of the types of players we want, I think we'll start using cohesion more and more when you're making decisions between players that are close. But for now, it's not close in most of our positions. So anyway, this is our passing depth chart. Let me zoom in so you guys can see a little better. Sorry about that. So inside run, outside run, not much different. Receiver different left guard for now. 1 to 2 wide receiver pass and 3+ wide receiver pass. We'll have Justice in the slot. Cook is a nice backup slot option. I think McLean is a nice outside option. So if Kimbrel falters, McLean could be moving up, but not a lot of depth beyond that, And two tight ends I like in passing. After that, I just put Cook as the third passing tight end because he was a tight end last year. So we'll roll with that. Offensive line for pass blocking is going to be Cervantes at left tackle. Freshman Hector Bear at left guard. Bradshaw center. Freshman Becker. Freshman also? Let's see. Becker. Yeah, Becker freshman. Bear freshman. Bradshaw, I think freshman. Becker freshman, yeah. McNeil freshman also. So, oh boy. Yeah. We're young. We're very young. 4 freshmen up front in passing downs. We'll see how that goes. And then on defense, we have our base package. Sturgis at nose tackle. Davis and Greer at the ends. Greer is kind of the big guy. Greer is the converted guard, I think. And I was a little surprised, but when I looked through it, I think he should be starting. So we're going to have Greer in here. He's 286 pounds, 89 strength. Actually, not bad speed for a defensive end. Not terrible. He's not fast, but he's not the slowest. So I think he's going to be a pretty good defensive end, but we'll see as we go along. He doesn't have much positional skill. Obviously, he only gained 30. So he could be more likely to get penalties. And we'll just see if the production outweighs the penalties. Galarza, for what it's worth, played a lot last year, and he got a lot of penalties. Even though he has high positional skill. So I don't know. Linebacker. Paul Cox is going to be our middle linebacker throughout our formations. Promised him he could be the starter. Outside linebacker, we have Ira Miller and Weiss starting in the base form of the defense here. Just kind of, some of this was cohesion based. I looked because we have, basically these 4 linebackers besides our middle linebacker that are pretty similar. So obviously it's going to be performance based as we go through the year, but I looked a little through a few of our key players for some cohesion. I think a couple guys had some decent cohesion with Miller, so we'll give him the start there. At any rate, he's a decent tackler. He's pretty fast. A little weak, but Leo Armstead starting the season a little farther down on the depth chart, but we'll see how that goes as we go along. Lewis Johnson, our freshman strong safety, will be starting there. Eric Carrico, our freshman free safety, will be starting. And then Michael Gould be our starting nickel back in this package. A little better tackler than Longo, and this is kind of base, you know. Corners are 5-star turned 3-star, trying to climb his way back up. Herman Paul and Markham starting there. I did make a 3-3-5 versus pass heavy in case we play any teams that are really pass heavy and I want a little bit better pass defense personnel even in the base defense. The only difference really being Peter Younger moves up to second in the depth chart at defensive end. We have a different starting nickel. Pass heavy will move Carrico to the nickel and Longo, who has better speed, to free safety. And let's see, linebackers, Hughes gets moved down, Armstead gets moved up, and Weiss moves ahead of Hughes over here. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Should be interesting. And then our passing situation defense, we have Sturgis and Baldwin starting up front. Baldwin down here, pretty good strength and good speed. So we'll start him. Baxter, Grissom filling in. These guys are all very similar players, so at least overall, a few differences. But Peter Younger starting at left end, trying to speed rush against the opposition's right tackle. I look for big things out of Peter once he comes back from fatigue, which is my fault. But Galarza starting at left end, and then Spencer and Greer filling in behind them. Spencer is right here. He has only 68 strength, but 73 agility, only 56 speed. So, yeah, second and third string, not a lot of ideal types of players. But and then Longo, free safety, Carrico, nickel. And then at 5'2", you kind of have three defensive tackles at start. So I have Grissom as the true nose, and then Sturgis and Baldwin. You can see it here. 5'2". Grissom, Sturgis, Baldwin, Homer, Davis, and Greer on the outside. Again, Markham and Paul. Paul Cox and Weiss at linebacker, and Carrico and Johnson. It's going to be used more at the goal line, short yardage. So Carrico has a little better tackling and things than Longo, so we'll start him there. I got to let the coach, I'll let Dorian Keefe set the backup package. Now, I didn't set special teams, so we can go ahead and do this together. I'll let, we'll do the default package first, I guess, here. Kick returners. Let's take a look real quick. What I usually look for is speed and agility as the main thing. So we've got quite a few pretty fast guys, really. No one that's extremely agile. I guess Justice could be a good option. Let's have someone with a little higher top end speed for the first option. So let's do, Levy, Deloach, Kimbrell. We probably can't go wrong with these guys. Let's go Levy. Let's go Levy and Justice. Then, I don't know, let's say Deloach and Kimbrell. Levy, Justice, Deloach, and Kimbrell. Now, if Levy, I don't know how much this affects their stamina, but if being in on returns means Levy misses more downs than we want on offense, if it is taking him off the field, we could move him out of there. But on the other hand, I think I want our running backs to get mixed in a little bit as the season goes along. In fact, I have backfield by committee checked. So our game plan, at least to start out here, balanced both ways, balanced focus both ways. These will change based on matchup, but primary coverage as zone, even though we have some mixed, but zone. Defensive line, I'm going to probably always leave on pass rush. Of course, they're important in running situations, but since their role is mostly to soak up blocks, I really need them to get pressure on passing downs. Mixed linebacker role, Paul Cox is going to be wearing the radio. We will, it doesn't matter if I check this or not because we have pretty much the same formations, but I'll just check it. balanced line to man coverage. We need to choose who we're going to focus. Then on offense, I guess we could start out slow to balanced. I don't know. We'll leave it there. Ball control might not be a bad idea with a not great team, especially if we dial in what we do well. I'm going to leave a lot of things balanced here at the beginning of the year. I'm not going to force the ball in any direction. I want to see how the passing game develops on its own. And then someone will become the primary receiver, I'm sure. But I would like that to be based on performance before we start force feeding someone targets. Levy on third downs, Elliott on goal line. Running, we may start it on balanced. I am tempted to focus power because we do have more power runs than others. I'm going to. Yeah, we're going to focus power. We have a lot of power formations we're running out of. Mixed role for the running back because they are doing some catching also. And mixed tight end role, I suppose. Although if the two tight end passing game, receiving might not be a bad. Yeah, let's do catching. So they get a little boost on receiving. Small penalty on blocking, I believe is how that works. And QB tuck and run will leave on default. I have our stamina substitution not all the way at the bottom, but we don't have a full roster yet of guys to rotate in and out. So we're going to leave it kind of towards the bottom on 50. They'll come back in when they're at 80. I think that's everything for depth charts and game plans. Let's take a look at recruiting. Now, the only thing I've done so far is I went through the entire list of corners, which is, I think, like 270. Yeah. So I went through all these guys. And I only found 8 players that have both tackling and intelligence mentioned in their scouting commentary. And a lot of them are not, some of them are not, a couple of them are out of our reach. So we really only have 6 names really to choose from. A couple of these guys don't have everything else we want, very weak or very unathletic, like here, not very fast. Speed, if he's agile, could be okay. But so I have some thinking to do on this corner position as we try to fill out our corner room with the types of players we want. We could find a lot more bodies with the kind of skill prototype I'm looking for if we over-recruit safeties and position switch some guys as we go along. The only drawback to that is I think to play this defense, like I want guys that aren't going to make many mistakes. And if you position switch safeties, they're going to have a pretty low position skill. A lot of them. Every now and then there will be a player like, Herman Paul who has good skill in multiple positions. But so we may have to tweak our recruiting guidelines and open it up a little bit more. 6 options to try to recruit maybe 1 or 2 players from is a little rough, but yeah, I think that's where we're at for now. So we have to do some work to do there. Looking at recruiting as a whole, I think if we go by kind of what I think we need this year, quarterback, we don't desperately need one, but we only have 4. We could recruit one, and if he's better than Enriquez, we could upgrade. There's no reason we can't upgrade. We're going to be upgrading hopefully a lot these first 4 or 5 seasons, so open to taking one, not a need. Running back, I really would like to get a good running back, so potentially Levy could move to wide receiver because I think he'd be pretty good at it. But so we'll probably try to take a running back, a fast running back. I think we have someone that Elliott profiles to be a pretty good power runner, 71 strength, 85 agility, and pretty good intelligence. So I like that quite a bit. Fullback, we need a run blocking fullback. Whether he's also fast and can carry the ball, I don't really care. It'd be nice, but I want the best run blocking fullback we can find. So we're going to be looking for a fullback. Tight end also, would like to get at least one solid blocking tight end because we don't really have a great option here. Dutton's the best we got for now, but it'd be really nice if he was the second best blocking tight end, run blocking tight end. That wouldn't be too bad. But him as the number one, it's like, not great. Receiver, we do need to keep building out this room with better players. So at least, we're losing 1, 2, 3, 4 receivers again. So we're going to be looking to probably bring 4 receivers back in. So maybe a slot receiver, a big, fast outside receiver, maybe a balanced receiver. I don't have an exact type we need. I think what we'll have left after this year is Deloach, who is more of an outside receiver, and Justice, who could be either one. So, we need some receivers. We need some receivers for sure. Guard, we've got a lot of guards. A strong pass blocker would be good to pick up. We still need that. Tackle, I don't desperately need one, but again, we could always upgrade if we find someone. We're losing Cervantes, or no, we're not losing him yet. Sorry, he'll be back. He's the best one. Next year will be big, but could add a tackle. Center, not in desperate need. We need a punter, hopefully a good punter, but we'll see. Fernandez will be graduating. We need a kicker. Estrada will be graduating, so we'll try to take a punter and a kicker. Defensive tackle, we have room for a couple bodies in this room. I've got our primary nose tackle for now. It would be okay to get another one. It would also be okay to get a defensive tackle who, has some agility and speed. It would be okay to maybe get another defensive tackle who can convert to defensive end, or just a better pass rushing defensive tackle. But room for another body or two in that room. Defensive end, we need another speed rusher. We need someone in this class that we can put opposite of Peter Younger moving forward, at least one. So we will be on the hunt for another speed rusher. Linebacker, we have a few guys to replace, and probably at least 2 or 3 we should take. We're graduating 4, so I think I'd probably like to bring in 3. Versatile, just what we're looking for. Good tacklers, decent speed, maybe a couple different body types if we can find them. And then corner, we need to keep building out this corner room as well with more of our zone type of corners that I want. So we're going to be looking for tackling and intelligence, agility, even strength with some of those other things, intangibles. And of course, it's never bad to get a fast guy also, but we'll be looking there. Probably take 1 or 2 strong safeties, maybe to stay at strong safety, maybe to convert to corner. Same thing at free safety. So we're going to be looking at a lot of guys on the back end of the defense to see what we can see. So I'm going to go ahead and build our initial recruiting board, and we'll look at a few of these guys maybe together, and then I'll move to do the rest of it offline. But also, maybe this is the time to do this. I have an unpopular opinion. I have a hot take I'm going to give about this game. I think this scouting commentary is completely OP and broken. Probably a lot of people would be mad at me if they ever took this out of the game, but I would like hard mode to include this being gone. In addition to getting less recruiting pitches, if you want to play on hard mode, play without the scouting commentary. That would increase recruiting difficulty significantly because you still have these general grades here, which the game gives, which is, physique is mostly strength and endurance, maybe size too. I don't know if size matters, but athleticism, speed and agility, technique, obviously position-based, whether it's tackling, hands, arm accuracy for quarterbacks. Football IQ, mostly based on intelligence, and intangibles. So you have general information, and you have their measurables to have some general info on players before you even start to recruit them. But this is literally just generated from their actual ratings in the game. So I think it's a little crazy that I could have a $0 recruiting budget and I could just go through. I need a strong defensive tackle. I can find one that I know has at least 80 strength with $0 spent scouting. I need a, run blocking guard. I can find it 100%. I can find a guard I know has like 80 plus run blocking. I need on and on every position. So I think this is way too strong, personally. It's nice to have. I love it, but it's kind of game breaking because I could probably scrape together a decent recruiting class with $0 in the budget. Maybe that's a challenge we should do sometime. But anyway, just a little hot take there. You got to zing one in every now and then. Get people a little uneasy. But okay, let's look through a few of these guys, and I'll build out the rest of the board. So I'm starting to look at recommended players because these are pretty much all guys that have some interest in us right away. Could also do it this way by just looking at all players and sorting by interest, but this is going to be guys at every skill level. So let's start with recommended. I will go through and add more guys after we wrap up this episode, which we're getting close to it. We're a little longer I wanted to be, but okay, so let's look at our top ranked player who's actually interested in us to start the year. It's this Ralph Nagy, defensive tackle, 6'4", 306 pounds from Bell City, Louisiana. He's right here in the state. Nice social type. Ranked 651, the 44th ranked defensive tackle and the 31st player in the state of Louisiana. So what can we tell about Nagy? He has good leadership. He is a good team player. I forget what this one is, whether it's competitiveness or disposition. He has good intangibles, basically. He's strong, and that's all it says. We don't know about agility, speed, anything like that, but he's strong. And he's strong and he has good intangibles. And he's our highest ranked player with interest, so I'm going to add him to the target list. We have a kicker interested in us who has very bad intangibles, and I actually do kind of look at intangibles for kicker, but we'll add him, at least get some scout grades. Not terrible social type too. Maybe he's a great kicker and we can put up with his shenanigans, but we'll see. Free safety, Howard Pratt, also out of Louisiana. A lot of these guys are probably out of Louisiana. 6'1", 189. What can we tell about him here? Doubles as glue, good team player, probably a good cohesion guy, good disposition. So he has good intangibles and he's smart. That's all it says. We don't know anything about athleticism, physique. We'll add him to the list, but he might be really slow. We'll see. 5'9", corner with D intangibles. I will pass. And nothing in the scouting commentary, so probably not a lot he's really good at. So we'll move along there. Shad Myers, linebacker, also out of Louisiana, ranked 951. He tackles and has good strength. Doesn't have great intangibles or social type. So not sure how long he'll be around on the target list, but just going to look at a few of these guys that are interested in us to start out. Might as well get at least scouting attributes on him. Jeffrey Randolph, tight end. I really need a blocking tight end, but let's see. Work ethic, so we got some intangibles here. He's 6'4", 237, not real big. All it says is intangibles. Good social type, decent social type. Probably pretty good strength. It says good technique. We don't know if that's talking about hands or blocking. He could be a blocking tight end. He's not very big, but we'll at least take a look. Joseph Boyer, 1144, linebacker, also Louisiana. Tackling, strength. Yeah, we'll at least take a look. We have a tackle, Christopher Allen. Let's see, good size. Ranked just outside the top 1,200. Hard worker. team player, good run blocker. I'll take a look. No, don't know if that's so exciting, but we have a guard, not real big. Good leadership and instincts, says nothing about blocking or strength. So I'm going to pass on that one. And we'll just do a couple more here. 6'1", wide receiver, Lawrence Murray, another Louisiana kid. He loves to win, so he's competitive. That's good. He's quick, and he makes smart decisions. Okay. Yeah, we will take a look, and let's do just one or two more. Alexis Watley, free safety, 6'2", 184. He's a good tackler, and he's smart. Okay, it's worth a look. And let's look up to, yeah, we'll do three more here, up to the top 1,500. Waldo Erickson, defensive end, liked by coaches and teammates. Not what I'm most interested in. Randall Gilliam, running back from Louisiana. Let's see, good hard worker. That's nice. He catches the ball well. Doesn't say anything about speed or strength or anything like that. Not sure if there's much there, but we'll see. Another running back. Driven, pushes himself, so he's hardworking, team player, or disposition, one of the two. Great strength for a running back. Yeah, we'll see where some of these things come back. And then maybe this fullback. Let's see. Fullback, William Durkin. Need a leader. He's your guy, so he's a good leader. That's all it says. He's a good leader. Good social type. Good physique. Good technique. Good intangibles. Probably worth at least looking at. Let's see. Who else? What other fullbacks do we have? Physique, technique, intangibles. Yep. This guy, hardworking, physique, iffy technique, pretty good intangibles. We'll see. Not sure if that's going to be too exciting. Any punters? Got a couple punters buried way deep on the depth chart. Two of them have at least good intangibles. We'll take a look, see if any of these guys are any good. What about kicker? Oh, this is interesting. This is the guy that, yeah, well, we added him already. We'll add a few kickers on here just to get some scouted attributes. So we'll add all these guys. Okay. So we took a look at a few of our recommended players. I'm going to go ahead and build out the rest of this recruiting board, and we will review it in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a recruiting board built. As you can see, I have our week 1 actions set up here. We have 161 entries on this target list. So I'm getting better. I'm slowly getting better. Maybe in a few seasons we'll actually have under 100. But I went through, started by looking at everyone that had some interest already. Then I went through our pipeline states. Then I just took a look at, our area, which was mostly like Louisiana and Texas. But and we built out our recruiting board. As you can see, I have targeted a number of 4-star players, and I think they all have scholarships. Yeah. So none of these guys are interested. They are reaches, but I have offered all these 4-star players right off the bat. And they're just, we got to see. We got to give it a couple weeks. We don't have as much money to waste, to burn this year, so we're going to have to be strategic with our spending on these guys. But if we can get lucky and no one else gets on them right away, we may be able to, get a couple steals throughout this recruiting cycle. Oh, you know what? I just noticed. Ooh, probably because of our staff our overturning of our staff, but we only have 2 recruiting pitches, talking points available this year instead of 3. That is not great. Looking for. So these are the guys that have scholarships on them out immediately. There's a couple guys outside of the 4 stars that I just want to see if we can get any interest. But there's a few guys here that we're offering right away that already start with some interest on us. So these guys are guys that I'm really hoping to get. This defensive tackle, Ralph Nagy, he's ranked 651, the top player that was interested for the season. A big, strong defensive tackle. He has good leadership. And yeah, he'd probably be a pretty good get. We have several defensive tackles on the board, as you can imagine. This wide receiver, Lawrence Murray, I think we touched on as well, but went ahead and offered him. And then this 3-star free safety, Alexis Watley, 1,414 overall. He is a good tackler and smart. And it looks like he doesn't have terrible athleticism or strength either. Of course, we got to give it some time for these to kind of percolate there, the scouting grades. But this is our board. We've got, let's see, I have a few quarterbacks here. A couple guys at the bottom that are just very athletic and have good intangibles. Maybe we could take another dual threat. And then a couple guys at the top, I think maybe pretty good passers. James Shaver, he's 6'6", ranked in the 600s here. He's out of Indiana, which is a pipeline state of ours. But he has good accuracy, good intangibles. Haven't offered him right out of the gate because, I'm not exactly sure how good he is. But James Beal, ranked 708. He's from Texas. Accuracy and intelligence, and I think knows what it takes to achieve success at any level means he's hardworking. But we'll see if any of these guys are impressive. Wouldn't be opposed to taking a quarterback. We have 15 running backs on the board, mostly centered around guys that are fast, fast and agile. So we have a number of options there. I have 7 fullbacks on the board looking for run blocking especially. And right now it looks like we got at least a couple guys that may be pretty good. I hope to find a blocking fullback type among these guys. But we'll see. Starting out with 7 there. 7 tight ends as well. Again, looking for a blocking tight end. 26 receivers. I had even more. I trimmed some off. Obviously, this number is going to shrink, but we need, 4. We need 3 or 4. So a bunch of guys on there. Guards, we have 13 guards on the list, mostly focused around strength and pass block. I have 10 tackles on the list, and this is kind of a mix. I've got some guys that are probably just good overall tackles. I have a few guys towards the bottom. Of course, I have some 1-stars. Don't worry, guys. We're going to get some good players this year. I made sure of it by adding some 1-stars to the list. But I have a couple tackles on here that are undersized and athletic. And I've already got something cooking up in my head. Not offering those guys. We're just going to see what's there. If we can find a couple athletic, undersized offensive linemen, maybe some position switches could be in order. Only have 1 center on the board, and he is probably a position switch guy, unless, this looks good, but doesn't say anything in his commentary. It's John Carter. He's ranked 1243. So 1 center. 6 punters on the list and 8 kickers. We will just evaluate them as we go along and hopefully eventually get some offers on these guys. I have a large number of defensive tackles, and I really just want to see what's here. It's a lot of guys with pretty good intangibles. It's some guys that are big and strong, like a nose tackle, and then it's some guys that are hardworking and maybe athletic, because 1 or 2 pass rushing defensive tackles would not be bad at all. 9 defensive ends. These, I think, are all speed rush guys, and hopefully we can get one. If we just get one, I'll be happy, and we have one on each side. But 16 linebackers on the list, and there's really a mix of tackling speed, tackling strength, tackling intelligence, speed and intelligence, tackling and intangibles, hardworking. So we'll see how those come along. We need probably at least 3 linebackers. I mean, we're losing a lot. 2 or 3. Added a few more corners onto the list besides our very exclusive prototype. So we're up to 13. I'd love to get 2, but hopefully at least 1. 3 strong safeties on the board and 6 free safeties. So it is a big number in total, but I think position by position I can work our way through it, keep an eye on our top targets, and make sure we are spending our dollars in the right place. But guys, you know what this means. We are through all of our preseason actions. Our depth charts are done. Our strategy is set. Our game plan is set. Our recruiting board is built. Now all that's left is to go play the games. So we will go to Baton Rouge next episode. Actually, tomorrow. It's Christmas weekend. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays. We're going to release a couple extra videos over the weekend just to keep ourselves entertained. So we're going to go to Baton Rouge, and we will be victorious. No, I'm just kidding. We're probably not going to be victorious. Oh, you know what? I needed to fix this because LSU being favored by 4.5 is not real. Where is it here? Is it in general? Spread range. Yep. 2. What if we do 2? I thought higher. Spread's larger, but it's lower. 25. What about 1? I'm trying to think of what this would really be handicapped at. I can't go 1.5. I already tried. 47. I mean, that's a huge spread. But Memphis by 18 at home against, or Georgia at home by 18 against Memphis, who's unranked. That's probably not big enough. But Michigan at Central Michigan 22. This is probably still not big enough, to be honest. See, Notre Dame at USC is a pick. That seems right. Clemson home against Wake Forest, only 23. Some of these should be even bigger than they are, really. This is bizarre. North Texas at number 6 Texas. North Texas favored by 3. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, we'll take another look at this in our next episode. It's week 1, baby. Time to play. Time to grind. Time to fight it out on the field. Let's see what we can do this season. I'm really excited. I cannot wait. Eventually we will be victorious, but for now we'll just focus on making some progress. So Merry Christmas Eve, everyone. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. I will, of course, see you tomorrow, Christmas Day, in the next video.